real estate developer that is just a normie otherwise who plays golf with Donald Trump can do it. Why? Because he is the physical manifestation of Donald Trump in that room. And Donald Trump has said, get this deal done. That's it. Every moment that Steve Witkoff speaks about the successes of this ceasefire is yet another moment where you should realize that the Democratic Party, with the endless amount of pedigree that they had in terms of foreign policy, just truly did not want to do this. So Stevie Boy came in hot, and he had a lot to say. And apparently it was quite controversial for many people.
Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, he was certainly a key player in the negotiations and the deal between Israel and Hamas. Thank you for being on our show, and thank you for being willing to serve the country as well. Wanted to ask you about Hamas. Apparently, they told the New York Times, we are prepared for a dialogue with America and achieving understandings on everything. How do you see that?
Well, I think it's good if it's accurate. I think we were able to demonstrate that President Trump's policies, peace through strength, they work. Everybody listens. And getting those 3 people out, that was a big deal. We've got 4 more coming out, I believe, this weekend. And it's a testament to how the world perceives President Trump's presidency.
When you met with these leaders, whether it was in Qatar or in Jerusalem, how did you deliver that message that convinced them that you mean business and so does Trump?
Well, Bill, I said you've got to look at the tweet, look at the truth, look at what he said. The words speak for itself. He expects a hostage release. Remember, we were working. We had nothing to do with the mathematics behind the prisoner release and the hostage release. That was set probably, I don't know, 11, 12 months ago in the so-called May 27th protocol that was agreed to by Hamas, by the Israelis, and monitored by the United States under the Biden administration. So that set the mathematics around how many Palestinians in Israeli jails would be released for each hostage who was coming out. Mm-hmm. Our job was to speed up the process because it felt like it had bogged down. And so that was the job, and we were able to get it done. And it doesn't happen without the president.
It's on track for the moment, and we'll see what happens next, phase 2, and on and on and on. I was watching you at the end of the inauguration in the rotunda on Capitol Hill, and when now the former president was walking out, you stopped, grabbed his hand, and had some words with him. What did you say that you want our audience to understand about your message that moment?
I said, thank you. I said, thank you for allowing me to work on this peace deal because it was important, and I wanted to thank him for that.
And what did he say?
He said, thank you.
Simple enough.
Sir, could you project?
Jared Kushner could never. I mean, dude, anyone could do this. I want to stress this. Okay? This man is not a particularly brilliant man. And the only reason why he comes across like a breath of fresh air, I guess, is because the tools that he has at his disposal are endless. Okay? Anyone could do it. Okay? Anyone could do it. A fucking real estate developer that is just a normie otherwise who plays golf with Donald Trump can do it. Why? Because he is the physical manifestation of Donald Trump in that room. And Donald Trump has said, get this deal done. That's it. Every moment that Steve Witkoff speaks about the successes of this ceasefire is yet another moment where you should realize that the Democratic Party, with the endless amount of pedigree that they had in terms of foreign policy, just truly did not want to do this. That's it. That's it. It's that simple. All of the other stuff was just lies. It was lies to keep up this veneer of interest in maintaining the international rule-based order or whatever. Like they had a goal. They wanted Israel to be let loose in the region, and they let it happen. And then they acting like, oh man, we're just really trying to stop it. It's not that complicated. Okay? Why BP supported Trump then? He got played or more to come? I think there's more to come. I think that's what it is. I think Benjamin Netanyahu also believes that Donald Trump will protect him from additional legal scrutiny where he didn't feel like the liberals would do that for him, maybe. Okay? But you have to understand, this is not about Benjamin Netanyahu's wants, his political future, his goals. He is not an autonomous party, okay? He's not an autonomous party. He's not a party that has any agency in this. He is merely a vessel of American empire. He's just the guy that you can yell at, okay? He's the punching bag. And no, he's no longer insanely unpopular. All the bloodshed made him very popular in Israel again. Don't worry. Yeah, I said time and time again that all Biden needed to do was make a phone call, the right phone call. Okay, a phone call where he says it's done. And he never made that phone call. That's it. Now, this is a lot more complicated with Iran. Okay, this is actually a complicated process. It's a complicated process because it requires not American interests, but it requires like the American design in the region to be tweaked potentially. Okay? Because now you're not dealing with a foreign ally that will just do whatever you want him to do. Okay? Now you're dealing with a foreign adversary that is a major threat as a state, as a functioning state, potentially a nuclear state that is an enemy to your designs in the region and an enemy to your major power player allies in the region, Saudi Arabia and Israel. Okay? Remember 3 months ago you were watching that Ozzy Zio pig YouTuber Casimir report video gloating over the genocidal general's plan and the annexation of North Gaza, and 3 months after they withdrew from North Gaza? Look, I'm not saying their designs for Gaza is over, okay? I'm not saying Israel's interest in Gaza is done. It's diminished. I think that there is still the West Bank in play.
I know you don't like to speculate, but could you project 6 months ahead or so? Because one of the key pieces of the deal, as I understand it from friends who are very supportive of the Israelis, that in a way it was a terrible deal, but one that they should take because of the situation that they found themselves in. But the key was they did not have to declare an end to the war. President Trump, if you could play this is call for number one. He says he's not confident it will hold. Watch.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
How do you characterize whether the ceasefire will hold?
Well, I don't disagree with the president. I think that the implementation, Dana, of it is probably more difficult than the execution of the deal. The execution, that was a big step. That was the condition precedent. We had to get it done, and we did, thank God. And now we've got to implement. I'm actually going to be going over to I'm going to be a part of an inspection team at the net, also at the Philadelphia corridor. That's where you have outside overseers sort of making sure that people are safe and people who are entering are not armed and no one has bad motivations. But we have to make sure that the implementation goes well, because if it goes well, we'll get into phase 2 and we're going to get a lot more live bodies out. And I think that that is what the president's directive to me and everybody else working in the American government on this. That's his directive, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
Our audience may not be that familiar with you, but they're going to get to know you very soon. And we really appreciate you coming on today because these are very important issues. Your relationship with Donald Trump appears to me to be forged over the years, and you've known each other a long time through New York real estate and the game of golf. And you were with them in Palm Beach the day that second assassination attempt took place. So you guys know where each other's coming from on just about everything. With regard to the future in the Middle East, do you see soon a handshake deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia that gets that peace deal back on track, that would then pull in other Arab countries in the region?
Well, you know, Bill, it's been out in the news that there's been talk of a normalization deal, and I think that normalization is an amazing opportunity for the region. It's basically the beginning of the end of war, and the beginning of the end of war means that the entire region becomes investable. It becomes financeable. Banks do not have to underwrite whether the Houthis, Hezbollah, or Hamas is going to fire a missile and take down a hyperscale data center. So I think that normalization is huge for the state of Israel. It's huge for the region, and hopefully it happens. And my own opinion is that a condition precedent to normalization was a ceasefire. We needed to get people believing again. First, we needed the hopeful moment, and I'd like to think that we've achieved that, and we'll build on that. And then on top of that, we needed to show people that we could stop the violence, and we could have conversation and dialogue. And so this is the beginning of that, and hopefully everything over there can be settled in that way. If it's possible, everyone will become a believer.
Just one more from me. How many countries do you think could be on board?
I think you could get everybody on board in that region. I really do. I think there's a new sense of leadership over there. Oh my gosh! I mean, Qatar. Look at what, you know. Qatar was enormously helpful in this. Sheikh Mohammed, he did plenty of, you know, his communication skills with Hamas were indispensable here. So, I think the UAE is already a part of it. Egypt was very, very helpful to us in these endeavors. I think we have the opportunity to get everybody bought in to a better future for the region. More opportunity, more hope. I think we have this is an inflection point.
Wow. Steve Witkoff, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it and hope to see you again.
Good luck.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, thank you. Bye. I had to order mushi. I had to order water and a bunch of stuff. How's the jet lag? Non-existent so far, but we'll see. The day is still very, very young. As you know, it's 4 p.m. over there, but over here it's only 9 a.m. So I just got started. Okay, so couple points here that are important. Okay, number one. Drop site is covering this. It says, in an interview with Fox News, Witkoff also announced he would travel to Gaza to be a part of the inspection team to ensure compliance with the deal. He said he wants the implementation to go well.
Now is President Trump's special.
He said he wants the implementation to go well. If it goes well, they'll go into phase 2, and we're going to get a lot more live bodies out. And I think that's what the president's directive to me and everybody else working in the American government on in this is. I'm actually going to go to Israel. I'm going to be a part of the inspection team at the Netzarim corridor and also a part of the Philadelphia corridor. Said senior Hamas official Musa Abu Marzouk's recent statement to the New York Times that Hamas is prepared to enter a dialogue with the new Trump administration would be good if true, emphasize Qatar's leadership in the broader normalization process and its crucial role in the peace efforts. Witkoff said he believed a long, elusive normalization deal with Saudi Arabia could be reached. He went further, saying he believed every country in the region could get on board with such a deal. Normalization means the beginning of the end of the war. It means the entire region becomes investable, becomes financeable. Classic real estate guy, classic real estate speak. My own opinion is that the conditional precedent to normalization was a ceasefire. We need to get people believing again. And this was not met with a lot of positive opinions in the minds of a lot of pro-Israeli speakers in the United States of America. A lot of people were very, very frustrated, especially because he said that he was interested in talking to Hamas directly, okay? Not through shuttle diplomacy, but directly potentially. That was a big deal. They got very mad at that. Now they're calling him a Qatari agent, especially because he once again glazed the emir, and also I think he's like done dealings with Qatar in the past as well. So people are very, very upset about this. Yeah, Mr. Anti-Zionist over here. Okay? Yeah, Trump is Hamas now, chat. Pro-Israel Republicans are alarmed over Trump's Defense Department appointee, Michael Domino. We talked about this before. I covered this before. He said, Michael Domino, tapped as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, has said that the U.S. has minimal to non-existent vital interests in the region. And, of course, people are very upset about this. And I thought it was really funny. It's like, I mean, you can't have one guy. Like, every other guy doesn't think this. You can't just have one freaking guy that thinks this. No room for division here, okay? Like 500 guys already think this. Okay? 501 is unacceptable, okay? The 501st guy can't think the opposite. Okay? Nope. Not allowed. He said he wanted to visit Gaza. What's the chances they let him and then watch Israel kill him and blame it on criminal elements inside of Gaza that have been armed? No. Steve Witkoff is Trump, okay? Steve Witkoff, understand something. Steve Witkoff is the physical embodiment of Donald Trump. He is the physical manifestation of Donald Trump. That's not happening. That seems far too insane, even for Israel. New York Times, contractors are scheduled to begin searching vehicles on Saturday and allowing those returning on foot to cross without inspection. If Witkoff is going to Gaza, would that mean third-party investigators could have a greater chance to get into Gaza and investigate the atrocities done by Israel? Eventually. It depends. I don't know what they're going to do with the Philadelphia corridor. Okay? I don't know what this means for the Philadelphia corridor, but if they open it up and if the Rafah border is no longer controlled by Israel, then yes, third-party investigators will have an easier time getting in. Why are you always being negative and biased about one side thing? Open up and rethink sometimes? What do you mean? I don't even know what you mean by this. I like that I'm talking about a ceasefire deal that came after the heels of 15 months of genocide of a captured population that's living in an open-air prison. And this guy's like, you're being negative right now. I don't like that. Okay? It's crazy. I hope you're not. Trump appointee for Pentagon Middle East advisor is called to pressure Israel. We're really there to counter Iran. And that's really at the behest of Israelis and the Saudis. Michael Domino said, oh my God. Okay. I get why. I get why they hate him. He ain't wrong, but one guy, man, let there be one guy. Let there be one dude who actually, by the way, I think this attitude, ironically enough, is, I can't believe the state of affairs in American foreign policy that like the one guy with realpolitik, like actual realpolitik as a ideological predisposition is getting yelled at as though he's like, and he's being considered woke. That's crazy. Like, that's it. He's just saying he's not wrong. There's truth to what he's saying. He's the one former CIA guy that hates the Israelis. No, there's many such cases. What do you think about MBS saying he will only accept Palestine 1967 borders? People here in Saudi believe him. Yeah, that's the reason why he's saying that. Because he wants the people in Saudi to believe him. MBS has very openly stated time and time again his resentment for the Palestinian population that just won't, like, die. He thinks the Palestinians are simply a nuisance and annoying because he would rather get weapons contracts and not have to deal with his population feeling sympathetic towards the plight of people that are being dominated by a country that he wants to align with, Israel. He has to say that so that, the Saudi population goes, yeah, no, he still has the best interest of the Ummah in mind, First report of ICE questioning legitimacy of U.S. veteran citizenship and no warrant or raid. Oh, God. There we go. Bro, watch out. You are out of state. If the Saudi kingdom wanted to kill me, they could kill me in America. What are you talking about? I'm too much of a small fry. Why would they do that? They got bigger stuff to worry about. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, let's continue. I don't know, man. CNN and NPR have been referencing you lately. You're actually him now. I'm not him. I promise. I'm not. Just don't go to a Turkish embassy anytime soon. True. I am humbly telling you, I am only the second largest political commentator on this platform. Number one slot has been overtaken by Asmongold and the brilliant right-wing commentary that was desperately needed on this platform. Finally, some diversity of opinion. Finally. You see the latest thing? Asman said he's German. I did. When asked by, I suspect, random 4chaners whether he was like secretly Jewish or not, he responded with, "I'm German. It's the opposite," which is kind of funny because, like, no, that's not the opposite. You know, the Jews that died in the Holocaust that were killed, you know, many of them were also German Jews. You can still be Jewish and German. I don't think he thought that through. I assume he was just trying to, you know, make a joke or something. All right. What else do we got on the docket? We'll talk about warp speed, but I really do want to watch this. This is a very good video. I don't think Trump himself is personally fierce. Oh, one other thing about Israel-Palestine. I saw this. I've played ball here before, by the way. It's a very nice facility.